Welcome to my parlor. Welcome, traveler, to the Hidden Corner Finds. I am Joanne, and this is my humble store. Pull up a chair, stay a while, make yourself at home. What? Oh, you want to know what I'm selling? Everything and anything. In short, I have a passion for. Ugh, why did it just bleep me? All I said was, I have a passion for picking, I said. Yeesh. You can't say anything on YouTube these days without this censorship. Anyways, as I was saying, I have a passion for picking. For me, there is nothing more satisfying than finding a unique and forgotten item and uniting it with someone who will really appreciate it for years to come. Whether it's a soapstone carving, an old book, or simply a mug to make you laugh, I try and find something for everyone. My goal is to make you a confident buyer. Older items often have a lifetime of stories to tell. I strive to describe the good as well as the bumps and bruises they've experienced along the way. It's important that the pictures reflect what you will receive. To that end, I always encourage questions and will do my best to respond as quick as possible. Appreciate you stopping by the store. If you can't find what you're looking for, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm always looking for new ideas and will keep an eye out for your item in my travels.
Honey, what's happened to my action figure collection?
Whoops, gotta go. Bye.
And welcome back to Toy Thursday with Johnny Tiger on March 7th, 2024. And as promised, today we are going to give a rundown of my top 10 2023 action figures. Now, before we get into that, I want to lay down a few ground rules because some of my choices might be perplexing to some people, and that's okay. If you don't agree with it or if you have better suggestions and stuff like that, leave it in comment section. I mean, a little bit of interaction is always good on YouTube. But I want to sort of let you guys know what we're dealing with. So number one, a lot of these figures might not have been released in 2023, right? So I'm going off of figures that I acquired during 2023, not counting pre-orders, not counting figures that are not here yet. So as long as I got them in 2023, actually get them in my hand out of the box, because I still have action figures that in the box from 2023 that I haven't gotten to yet. And obviously, if they're still in the box, I can't, in good conscience, put them on the top 10 because I may think that they're really good, but they might not be as good as I think they are, right? So it have to be acquired during 2023 and out of the box, actually being in my hand. So that's number one. Number two, while a lot of people go by paint and colors and how it look, obviously that doesn't work for me as a blind collector. So as a blind collector, these figures that I'll be put in on the top 10 list, um, some of them might not exactly look like they should be on the top 10 list, but they feel good. Okay, so rather than going by what look good, we're going by what feels good in hand. When I hold it in my hand, when I get it out of the box, it gives me that electrified wow factor. And when I leave it on my desk, I fiddle with it for the next 2 or 3 days, and it continues to wow me and make me feel this is such a good figure. That's what will make a figure be on the top 10 list. And number three, well, is there a number three? I don't think there's a number three. um, these figures will be judged not only by how good they are, but also they have to be worth the price, right? So there are going to be figures I'm going to show you that you said, how did that get to the top 10 list? Well, it's because I got it really, really cheap. It might not be the market price, okay? Like the market price might be really ridiculous, but I end up getting it really cheap because of a discount, and that will bump that figure onto the top 10 list. Um, this will make more sense as we go through today's video. Similarly, there are going to be figures that should be on the top 10 list, but missed the spot that didn't get on the top 10 list purely because it's way overpriced. It's good, but it's not that good. Okay, so with that all said, let's move along because it's going to be a long video today. So let's get our figure number 10 from Hasbro. We have Marvel Legend Spiral action figure. Now, this one I believe was actually released in 2022, but I got her at the beginning of 2023. She was like my first purchase of 2023, I think. And it's really hard for me to get excited about any Marvel Legend nowadays. Um, they just kind of lost their magic. I mean, there's still a good one here and there, but just not wow factor good. But Spiral is different. Like part of that is her design. I mean, look at her. She's like a six-armed woman, and with all these swords, like a sword in each hand. And the whole construction of this figure is just awesome. Including her build. I mean, they didn't just take a skinny body and stick extra arms on it. They actually sculpted her lower half, her butt, her thighs. All this stuff is like suitably chunky, powerful. Like if you got to have six arms and you got to be able to jump around and do martial arts, you better have some very strong legs. And she does. Like this uh, figure is designed really, really well. Articulation work really good. She comes with a whole tons of accessories and like six weapons and some extra hands and uh, she's just a joy to fiddle around with. So I'm very happy to put her on the list as our figure number 10. I think she really deserves the spot. Now let's move on to our figure of the year 2023, number 9. We have the from Mattel, the Masters of the Universe. Too bad. Last week we saw them in the loot I brought back from California, so I'm not going to waste too much time on them. But I mean, look at this: $34. You get an 8-inch, two-headed giant, and this guy is pretty big. I mean, he doesn't look as that big just standing here because, he's really well proportioned, but he's really big. He's like 8 inches tall and I don't know, like 3 or 4 inches wide, and he's got two different styles of mace that he comes with for weapon. He got a shield, really cool looking shield, and then a really cool looking battle axe. Look like it's formed from like two different kind of animal, or it's like a two-headed animal. And I believe a lot of these armors on him are removable if you want a different look for him. Personally, he's just fine the way he is, so I'm not going to remove his armor. But yeah, like this is such a fun figure. He's well articulated. You can get him into all kinds of poses. He's very intimidating. The design is really cool. Comes with loads of weapons. He actually comes with a gun too, but I didn't put it on him because I don't want him to have a gun on my display. He's going to be in with medieval fantasy guys, so I kind of think it's kind of weird for him to have a gun. So I didn't equip him with that. But yeah, come with a gun as well, and he has like I believe extra hands on top of all that. So this figure is another one. $34. You get a big figure, loads of articulation, loads of accessory. I know I talk a lot of crap about Mattel, but when they do it right, they really do it right. Now let's look at figure of the year 2023, figure number 8. From Super 7, we have the Slash action figure from Ninja Turtle, another one that we already saw last week, so we don't have to linger on him too much. But look at this guy, he's loaded with weapons. I will be honest, okay? Slash here, if he was sold at the regular price, like $56 by Super 7, most likely he wouldn't have been on this list. He would still be a really good figure, especially when mentioned he's like my favorite turtle. He's got all the nostalgic points, and he's big and bulky and comes with a lot of weapons. But still, if he was $56, most likely he wouldn't have made the list. But I got him for $19. $19 for a guy like this. Like he weighs over a pound. He's like a small dumbbell in your hand, and he comes with so much stuff, like three throwing stars, like three grenades, uh, five or seven weapons. If you count the duplicate weapons, then it's like 14 weapons, two different heads, and a whole bunch of extra alternative hands. So he comes with a lot of stuff. He is well engineered. He is very familiar to me, and I love this figure a lot. And I'm glad to see him on number 8, even though he kind of squeezed in because how cheap I was able to acquire him. Before we go on, I am sure that some of you, especially the ones that watched last week's episode, are going to say, why are you showing us the same figures um, over again because you already showed some of these figures last week. Well, because last week I was showing you guys the figures I brought back from California, and obviously they have to be really good figures for me to have them shipped to Kitten's place, and I go pick them up, and like I wouldn't do that for just any figures, right? So a lot of the figures that end up on the top 10 list will be the ones from California, just because of the nature of how they were acquired and all the hassle that I would have to go through to bring them home. So yeah, let's continue. We'll look at number 7, figure number 7 from 2023. From NECA, we have Broadway the Gargoyle. Now, some people say, wait, you are putting Broadway on the top 10 list? Well, actually, let's be honest. Broadway himself wouldn't have been on the top 10 list. I like him, but I don't like him that much. But this is the thing. Uh, if you take any figure from NECA's Gargoyle line, I believe, well, maybe with the exception of David Zanotto and Elisa Massa, the human figure, any of the gargoyles, I believe they deserve to be on the top 10, just because these figures run anywhere from $37 to $45, and you get so much with them. The sculpture detail is good, the paint is wonderful, the joints work great, and look at the size of this thing. And Broadway is not even one of the largest gargoyle. He's big, but he's not even one of the largest gargoyle. And in addition to their size, you also get tons of different hands options: claw hand, grip hand, fist hand, all kind of hands, and usually two different heads, a pair of giant wings, the tails, and weapons, and uh, in Broadway's case, you get a whole lot of food items in addition to his weapons as well. Okay, and the weapon he's holding is not a small weapon either. The weapon is like taller than he is. So for basically $40, you are getting so much. Like I said again and again, uh, if you want me to tell you one of the brands that is the most money friendly, the most worthy of your money on the shelf today, it would be NECA, and the gargoyles definitely illustrate that very well. Moving along, we are looking at figure number six, the sixth figure, sixth place of our 2023 top 10. We have another entry from NECA from the Dungeons and Dragon line, and we have Grim Sword, the Evil Knight. And this is another one. I mean, he's like 37, again, 37, 40 bucks. Sometimes you might have to pay 45, but sometimes you can get him for like 30 as well. And this guy is another one that comes with a lot of hands, a lot of weapons. He got a sword, he got a shield, he got a Morning Star with real chain on it, and on top of that, he's big. I mean, this guy's like over 8 inches tall, and just like he's a really big dude. Uh, when I display him on the shelf, he looks like he's almost the same size as those Mythic Legion ogre guys, just a little bit more slim and a tiny bit shorter. But yeah, this guy's big. So you're getting a really well crafted, really well painted figure for what amount to 40 bucks, and he comes with a lot of weapon, different hand options, really well articulated. Again, NECA just knocked this one out of the park. So this is why NECA was able to secure both place number 7 and place number 6 in a row. Now we're starting to get good with this because we're getting to the top 5. So without further ado, here is figure number 5 from the top 10 list of 2023. From Hasbro, we have from G.I. Joe line, we have the Snow Serpent. I know it look like two figures, right? They look like two different figures, and yet it's the same figure. I bought two of them because of the different look you can get with these guys. It's how much I like these guys. I was very lucky too. I got these guys like I think $34 each, which is like really, really cheap. You want to get some regular price, they're really pretty expensive. They got that deluxe price tag going on. I think it's like $48 each or something like that. So I was able to get a pretty good deal, and so I grabbed two of them during Black Friday, and I was so impressed. They come with so much stuff. Like they got the snowboard, snowshoes, bazooka, uh, ammunition for the bazooka, the missiles, the rockets, and they got the submachine gun, the pistol, they got knives, and they got this really cool, weird looking wolf pelt headdress and wolf pelt cape, and then a big backpack on top of that. And the best part is you can store almost everything on them. I love it when action figures let you store everything they come with on them. The reason I say almost is because, well, there's no, for some reason, there's no place to store their knife. So what I do is I stick the knife inside the bazooka and just keep it as a safekeeping there. But look at these guys; they're like so awesome. I'm very often disappointed by Hasbro, but I will say their GI Joe line consistently produce some of the best value at the 25 $30 mark. I am noticing that my camera app is starting to slow down, so I'm going to cut this off and then we'll come back for part two of this lengthy top 10 video. So stay tuned, don't go away.